So, good morning. First year Bcom Computer Applications, Semester 2, Programming in C and C++, Unit 2. Today, we start with Unit 2, that is control statements. So, control statements means what are the syllabus covered in Unit 2 is working with control statements and loops. So, what is the syllabus? Control statements, introduction, if statements, if else statements, nested if else statement, break statements, continue statement, go to statement, switch statement, looping statements, introduction, while statement, do while statement, for statement, nested loop statement. సో మనకి ఈ సెకండ్ యూనిట్లో మనకి 3 టైప్ క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తాయి. ఫస్ట్ ఈజ్ what are control statements? Explain about control statements. First essay. Control statements are basically two types. First one, number one is conditional statement, and number two is loops or looping statements. Control statements are basically two types. First one is conditional statements, and the second one is loops or looping statements. Loops or looping statements. So these are the only three important set of questions which are coming from Unit 2. So we start with this PPT. What are control statements? How to use them? What are the different types of control statements? And to introduce the main kinds of C language control flow. What is a control flow and what are the different types of control statements? All these things we may explain in this PPT. So what is a control structures? Before that, what is a controller? What is the control structure means? There may be situations where the programmer requires to alter normal flow of execution of a program or to perform the same operation a number of times. Various control statements supported by CR, decision control statements and loop control statements. So what are control statements? What is the definition of control statements? Means control statements are mainly used to controls the flow of a program. Control statements or control structures means they are mainly used to control the flow of a program, or to repeat a set of statement, or to repeat or execute or run a group of statements or a set of statements a fixed number of times. A fixed number of times, that is called as that type of statements are called as control statements. So basically control statements are of two types. First one is decision control statements and second one is loop control statements. First one is decision control statements, second one decisions, and the second one is loops or looping control statements. So these are the two types of control statements. Various control statements supported by C. So first one is decision control statements, second one is loops or loop control statements. So why we require control statements is to control the flow of a program, to control the flow of a program, or to control the flow of an execution of a program. So generally, and control statements are also used for to run or to execute or to repeat a set of statements, or a group of statements for a fixed number of times, or for a fixed number of times, or for a repeated number of times. So this is the basic. Generally control statements are used to change the flow of control of a program execution. So this is the basic definition of a control statement. So decision control, basically control statements are of two types. First one is decision control systems or if statements, decision support systems or decision control statements. Second one is loops or loop control systems. So control statements are two types. First one is decision control systems, And second one is loops are looping control statements. Loops are loop control statements. So decision support decision control systems, and loops are loop statements. So what are decision control statements? So decision control statements alter the normal sequential execution of the statements of the program depending upon the test condition to be carried out at a particular point in a program. So what is a decision control statements? Means generally decision control statements alter means change the normal sequential execution of a program depending on the test condition. So what is a condition, or what is a test condition? What is a condition or what is a test condition? Generally a condition is an expression. Generally a condition is a simple expression used to test whether if it is true or false. What is a condition, or what is a test condition? A test condition is generally it is an expression, mathematical expression used to test whether the given condition is true or false, whether it is a true or false. So for example, simple example, is A is greater than B. Is A is greater than B is a condition, simple test condition. So in this condition the result may be either true or false. In this condition the result may be either true or false. Means if the condition is true, means that is A is greater than B, then A is the maximum value. A is the maximum value. Else if the condition is false, if the given condition is false, means A is not greater than B, is not greater than B, then B is the maximum. So this is the simple example to find out maximum of two given numbers. So what is the example of decision control systems? If is A is greater than B, is A is greater than B, means is A is greater than B means the value of A is greater than or equals to greater value of B, means in that case A is the maximum value. In that case A is the maximum value, otherwise B is the maximum value. So the type of testings are called as test cases or test conditions, are also called as decision control statements. So decision control statements supported by, so what are the different types of decision support systems? What are the different types of decision support? What are the different types of decision support systems supported by C? Means if statement, if else statement, else if ladder, nested if switch statement. So there are five different decision support or decision control statements are there. There are the five different decision support systems or decision control statements are there. First one is if statement, it is also called as simple if. Second one is if else statement. Third one is else if ladder. Fourth one is nested if statement. Fifth one is switch statement. So there are five types of decision supports, decision control systems or decision So decision control statements. So control statements are two types. First one is decision control statements, and loops are looping statements. Decision support systems or decision support statements or decision control statements are again five types. First one is if statement, if else statement, else if ladder, nested if statements, switch statements. So what are decision control statements? Decision control statements are mainly used to test to test a given condition, whether it is true or false, whether if it is true or false. If it is true, then a set of statements are executed, else if it is false, another set of statements are executed. So based on the given condition, based on the given condition, the decision control statements are working. If it is true, then a set of statements are executed, else if it is false, another set of statements are executed. So for example, simple example is if A is greater than B. Simple example is if A is greater than B. If A is greater than B, suppose if it is true, then A is the maximum value. Then A is the maximum value. Otherwise, B is the maximum value. Otherwise, B is the maximum value. So such type of tests or such type of test conditions, such type of tests are called as decision control statements. Decision control statements or decision supportive statements. So basically there are 5 types of test cases, or basically there are 5 types of test conditions or decision support control statements are there. First one is if statement. First one is called as if statement, or it is also called as a simple if statement, or it is also called as a simple if statement. Second one is if else statement. Second one is if else statement. Third one is else if ladder. Fourth one is nested if. Fifth one is switch statement. So what are decision? We discuss one by one about decision control systems. We may discuss here all the 5 one by one decision support or decision control systems. First one is if statement. It is also called as simple if statement. A simple if statement. So what is simple if statement or if statement? Most simple and powerful decision control statement, and it executes a statement or a block of statements only if the condition is true. So syntax. What is syntax? What do you mean by syntax? Syntax is nothing but it is a formula, or it is a method how to write or how to use a condition, how to write a command. So that is called as a syntax. So what is the syntax of if statement? Syntax is if within brackets condition, if within brackets condition, if within brackets condition, then bracket open, statement or statements, bracket close. So here if by using if statement, we may run a single statement or a set of statements. We may run a single statement or a set of more than one statement also. So the syntax is simple: if within brackets condition, if within brackets condition, then here we may write with use 2 curly brackets statements. It is a single statement or a group of set of statements. If it is a single statement, there is no need of using curly brackets. Otherwise, we may use, if you use more than one statement, then we may use brackets for multiple statements. So in the above syntax, if condition is true, in the above syntax, if condition is true, then only then the statements within the block are executed. Otherwise, next statement is sequence is executed. So what is the how an if statement is working means, if first of all the given condition is tested. The given condition is tested whether it is true or false. The given condition is to be tested whether if it is true or false. So if statement, there are 5 types of decision support statements or decision support statements are used. First one is if statement. It is also called a simple if statement. Second one is if else statement. Third one is else if ladder. Fourth one is nested if. Fifth one is switch statement. So we start with simple if statement. If statement, most simple and powerful decision control system, and it executes a statement or a block of statements only if the condition is true. Syntax is if within brackets condition, within brackets statements, or if condition, within brackets statement 1, statement 2, brackets close. In the above syntax, if condition is true, only then the statements within the block are executed. Otherwise, next statement is sequence is executed. So this is the simple syntax of, this is the simple syntax of the or the simple if statement or simple if statement, simple if statement. So next is, so this is the flow chart. This is the flow chart of working of a simple if statement, how a simple if statement is executed. So first the condition is executed, first the condition is executed or tested. If it is true, then block of statements are executed. If otherwise, if the condition is false, then the control directly goes to the next statement. The control directly goes to the next statement and stop. So here is it is the working of a simple if statement or a simple if block. So next we check for this is the program. In the right side there is a program to check if the given number is true or the even number or false, if the given number is even number or odd number. So in this program we, so starting from the first statement, hash include stdio.h, hash include conio.h, void main bracket open int num clr scr, next printf enter the number, scanf percentage d comma ampersand number, if number percentage 2 double equals to 0, that is a an even number, else it is a odd number. So this is the simple program. So this is the sample program, or this is the syntax of writing a C program. So here the first statement is hash include stdio.h, second in the second statement conio.h, next void main or main, next local declaration int some number, next clr scr is a function to clear the screen, next printf and scanf. There are two statements are used, there are two statements or functions, there are two functions or statements are used, printf and scanf. Printf and scanf. Printf is the standard output function, printf is the standard output function, scanf is the standard input function. Printf and scanf. Printf is the standard output function and scanf is the standard input function. Scanf is simply used to accept, scanf is simply used to accept some number from the user, and printf is simply used to enter the number or display some message. After that, if we may test if the given number is even number or not. After that we may test if the given number is even number or odd. How to test if the given number is even number or odd? We simply divide it by 2. We simply divide the given number by 2 and find out the remainder. Means num percentage 2, means num percentage 2. Num is a variable, integer variable. Num percentage 2. If the remainder is 0, if the remainder is 0, num percentage 2. If the remainder is 0, means how to find a remainder is 0 or not? Num percentage 2 double equals to 0, means it is a even number, else if it is a odd number. So this is the writing of a C program. This is the first C program to test whether the given number is even number or odd number. Next is if else statement. Next is if else statement. So how to check, how to use, what is if else statement and how to use if else statement, how it is working. So in case of if statement, the block of statements is executed only when the condition is true, otherwise the control is transferred to the next statement following if block. But if specific statements are to be executed in both cases, either condition is true or false, then if else statement is used. So why we require if else statement? Means in simple if statement, in simple if statement we can take only true part. In simple if statement, we can take only true part, means if the given condition is true, then statements are executed. In if else statement, there are two parts are taken. If the given we test the given condition, if the test condition is true, then some block of statements are executed, and if the given condition is false, another set of statements are executed. So there are two parts, or there are two conditions are executed. There are two conditions are executed. First one is if a true condition, and second one is false condition. First one is true condition and second one is false condition. If the test condition is true, given test condition is true, then one block is executed, otherwise another block is executed. So this is the flowchart of if else statement. If the given condition is true, some block of statements are executed, otherwise another set of statements are executed. This is called as if else statement. So first of all, the given test condition is tested, or the given condition is tested if it is true or false. If it is true, then statement block 1 is executed. If it is false, then other statement is executed. So syntax, what is the syntax? How to use the syntax of if else statement? How to use the syntax of if else statement? If the condition, if the given test for the given condition, then statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 are executed, else statement 3 is executed. So this is the syntax of if else statement. This is the syntax of if else statement. If the given condition is true, then statement 1, statement 2 are executed, else statement 3 are executed. So this is the flow of a so this is the example of simple if else statement. This is called as if else statement or if else block. So if the given condition, first of all the given condition is tested. If it is true, then the statement block A is executed. Else means if the given condition is false, then statement block B is executed. This is called as if else statements or if else statement block. Next, so this is another program. Write a program to check whether a given number is even or odd. So write a program to check whether the given number is even or odd by using nested if statements. Nested if statements means if condition, statements block A, else statement block B. So when an entire if else is enclosed within the body of statements, and or if the body of else statement is known as nested if. So third type of if statement. So there are three types of as we here in this slide we discussed about that. First one is if statement or a simple if statement. Second one is if else statement. Third one is else if ladder. Fourth one is nested if statement. What is nested if statement? Nested if statement means an if statement contains another if statement. What is nested if statement? An if statement contains another if statement. It is called as a nested if statement. Generally, an if statement contains another if statement. If an if statement contains another if statement, it is called as nested if statements. So here we may write a small program of using all the different types of if statements. So first type is if condition 1 brackets, if condition 2 statement 1, else statement 2, else statement 3. And in the second block, if condition 1 bracket open, if conditions 2 statement 1. So these are the different examples or syntaxes used to use or represent nested if statements. What is a nested if statement? Nested if statement is nothing but an if statement contains another if statement. What is nested if statement? Nested if statement is nothing but an if statement contains another if statement. It is called as a nested if statement. So all these are the different examples. So next is if else if ladder. If else if ladder or multiple if statements. If else if ladder or multiple if statements. So in a program involving multiple conditions, the nested if else statements makes the program very difficult to write and understand if nested if more deeply. For this we use if else if ladder. For this we use if else if ladder. Syntax. What is the syntax of if else if ladder? If condition 1 statement 1, else if condition 2 statement 2, else if condition 3 statement 3, else a default statement. So this is the example of using if else if ladder. This is the example for, or this is the syntax for, if else if ladder. So what is if else if ladder? What is if else if ladder? If condition 1 statement 1, else if condition 2 statement 2, else if condition 3 statement 3, else default statement. So here we are using three conditions: condition 1, condition 2, condition 3. Here we may use three conditions: condition 1, condition 2, condition 3. And if condition 1 is true, statement 1 is executed. If condition 1 is not true, means it is false, then we may test condition 2. So this is the syntax of nested if else ladder. If else if ladder. If condition 1 statement 1, else if condition 2 statement 2, else if condition 3 statement 3, else default statement. So this is the flowchart of how to use if else if ladder. So condition 1 true means statement 1, else false means condition 2, true means statement 2, false condition 3, true means statement 3, false default statement, next statement. So this is the flowchart. This is the flowchart of using if else if. This is the flowchart of using if else if ladder or if else if statements. So next, switch statement. So another important conditional statement. So basically control statements are five types: if or simple if else statement, if else if statement, nested if statement, and switch statement. So what is a switch statement? What is a switch statement? Switch statement is a multi-way decision making statement which selects one of the several alternatives based on the value of a single variable or expression. It is mainly used to replace multiple if statements, multiple if else if statement. The if else if statement causes performance degradation as several conditions needed to be evaluated before a particular condition is satisfied. So what is the syntax of if statement? Switch statement. So what is a switch statement? In switch statement we may test for a given variable, or expression with multiple values, or multiple statements or multiple values. So in the syntax is very simple: switch variable or expression, case constant 1 colon, case constant 2 colon, default colon statement. So this is the syntax of a switch statement. So how to use or how to work a switch statement? Switch expression or variable. First of all, the given expression or the variable is taken, and if the value of the expression or value of the variable is 1, then constant 1 statements are executed, and if the value of the expression or variable is 2, then constant 2 statements are executed. And here we may use break statement. What is a break statement? Break statement is the end of the switch case statement. Break statement is the end of the switch case statement. So default, another parameter, another option is default statement. Another parameter or another option of switch statement is default statement. So default means if any of the case conditions, case constant 1, constant 2 are not met, then default statements or default the last statement of the if statement or the default case statement will be considered in the switch statement. Next, break statement. What is a break statement? So what is the break statement? Generally, break statement is the end of break statement terminates the execution of a loop in which it is defined. Generally, break statement, whenever you use a break statement within a loop or within a statement or within a condition, then immediately the control will be terminated. Then immediately the control will be terminated or come out of the loop. The control is transferred immediately to the next executable statement after the loop. The control is transferred immediately. The control is transferred immediately to the next executable statement after the loop. It is mostly used to exit early from the loop by skipping the remaining statements of loop or switch control structure. So syntax is break semicolon. So what is the break statement? Break statement is simply used to come out of any loop. Break statement is simply used to come out of any loop in C language. The control is immediately transferred to the next executable statement after the loop statement. It is mostly used to exit early from the loop. Means whenever you means generally after using or after giving break statement, the control is immediately come out of the loop and it simply terminates the execution of the loop, and the control is immediately come to the next statement of the loop statement in a C language. Next, looping structure. So as we know that control statements are two types. In the first slide, in this slide, control statements, it is also called as control structures, but not control structures. It is a control statements in C language. So control statements are two types. First one is decisions, conditional statements or decision supportive statements. First statements are called as decision control statements or conditional statements. Second type is called as loop control statements or looping statements. So their control statements are basically of two types. First one is conditional statement. Second one is looping statements or loops. Control statements are basically of two types. First one is conditional decision support or conditional statements. Second one is loops or looping statements. So there are 5 types of conditional statements or decision support statements. So there are 5 types of decision control statements or conditional statements are used. First one is if statement. Second one is if else statement. First one is if statement. Second one is if else statement. Third one is else if later. Fourth one is nested if statement. Fifth one is switch statement. So these 5 are decision control statements or conditional statements. Second type of control statements are called as loops or looping statements. Second type of control statements are called as loops or looping statements. So in this slide we may explain about what are the different types of loops available in C language. So loops, second type of control statements are called as loops or looping statements. So what is a loop? Loop is divided into two parts. And what is the definition of the loop? Loop is nothing but a set of statements. Generally, what is a loop? A loop is nothing but a set of statements or a group of statements which are executed many number of times based on the given many number of times or a fixed number of times based on the given number of, based on the condition given. Based on the condition given means the loop will be executed till the loop will be executed until for a fixed number of times, or for the given condition becomes till the given condition is true. Means whenever the given condition is false, it is simply come out of the loop. So again, loop or looping statements have two parts: body of the loop, and second one is control of the loop. Body of the loop, and second one is control of the loop. Body of the loop means the statements. Body of the loop contains the statement, set of statements or a block of statements. Second one is control of the loop means the condition. Control of the loop means the condition given. So mainly control of loop is divided into two parts: entry control loop and exit control loop. So again, there are two types of two parts in the loops or looping statements: body of the loop and control of the loop. So body of the loop means the statements which are used, the set of statements or group of statements which are used in, and control of the loop means the condition given. Control of the loop means the condition given in the loop or looping statement. So loops are looping statements. What are loops and looping statements? So what is a loop? Loop is nothing but it is a set of statements or a group of statements which are repeatedly executed. What is a loop? Loop is nothing but a set of statement or a group of statements which are repeatedly executed one by one until the given condition becomes true, or until for a fixed number of times, or until the given condition becomes true or false. So loop contains the two parts: body of the loop and control of the loop. And there are many looping statements are there in C language, like while loop, do while loop, for loop, etc. This is the second part of the control statement. So control statements are two types. Basically, control statements are of two types: looping statements and conditional statements and looping statements. So control statements are basically of two types: conditional statements and looping statements. Conditional statements and looping statements. Conditional statements are nothing but used to test a given condition, whereas looping statements are used to looping statements are executed to set of statements for a fixed number of times. So looping statements, control statements are of two types. First one is looping statements and second one is conditional statements. So we start with looping statements. So first, looping statements. So what are the looping statements? Looping statements are, there are 3 to 4 looping statements are there in C language. First one is while loop, first one is for loop, second one is while loop, third one is do while loop, and other two statements like other two statements are also used for. So first statement is while statement or while loop. While statement or while loop. So what is a loop? A loop or a looping statement? A loop or a looping statement is a set of statements or a block of statements. Set of statements or block of statements which are continuously executed for a fixed number of times, or for a until and unless the given condition becomes true or false. సో అంటే ఏదైనా ఒక ఇచ్చిన కండిషన్ని ట్రూ అయ్యేంత వరకు లేదా ఫాల్స్ అయ్యేంత వరకు లేదా ఫర్ ఏ ఫిక్స్డ్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్స్ మనకి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయడానికి ఈ లూప్స్ అనేవి యూజ్ చేస్తాం. లూప్స్ అనేవి మనకి బేసికల్గా 3 ఉంటాయి: ఫర్ లూప్, వైల్ లూప్, డూ వైల్ లూప్. సో వైల్ లూప్, ఫర్ లూప్ అండ్ డూ వైల్ లూప్. We start with while loop or while statement. What is the while statement? While loop is used to execute a set of statements as long as condition evaluates to true. It is mostly used in those cases where the programmer doesn't know in advance how many times the loop will be executed. So While loop, what is the while loop? While loop is simply used to execute a set of statements as long as condition evaluates are true. So it is mostly used in those cases where the programmer does not know or doesn't know in advance how many times the loop will be executed. So while loop will be executed. The while loop will be executed. Its statements are a set of statements or a block of statements till the condition, till the given condition, or till the given test case, or till the given test condition becomes true. So syntax, what is the syntax? Syntax is while condition. Syntax is while a condition, while within brackets condition, bracket open, statement 1 semicolon, statement 2, statement 3, etc. So first of all, the given condition is tested. First of all, the given condition is to be tested. If the given condition is true, then the statements are executed. Statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 are executed. Else means if the given condition is false, then immediately the control goes out of the loop. At the beginning, if at the beginning only the given condition is false, then the loop will not be executed. So this is the syntax, and in the right hand side you seen the flowchart or working of a while loop. So this is the flowchart. While this is the first of all the given condition is the given condition is tested. First of all, the given condition is tested. If it is true, then some statements or statement A or some statements are executed. Some statements are executed, and again the control goes back to the given condition for again testing for the condition. Suppose whenever the condition becomes true, false, whenever the condition becomes false, then immediately the statements will be, the loop will be executed. The loop will be executed, or loop will be terminated. Loop will be terminated or come out of the while loop. So this is the working of a while loop. So the next loop is do while loop. Next loop is do while loop. So tomorrow we will continue the class.